Yes.
Okay.
All right.
This.
Ooh. Okay, there you are. I see you. Slowly getting there.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Well, I'm gonna see if we can make it there.
Okay. How are you guys doing?
Morning, Mark. How are you?
Good, good.
There.
Yeah.
Nice to see the sunshine, though.
Yeah, I'd rather see it than the meeting. Some better.
You like those burgers? I'm the only one's got a six off, and you like to scribble.
So
I'm sorry, mine in that place.
is the owl placed where it's gonna work?
I think it's supposed to, I think whoever talks, it should move to wherever
Right, well.
it
Seems.
works here. John, why don't you say something? See that?
Hello, can you get me? You hear me? You want to hear me?
We might not, I wonder if the audio is on here.
How would you tell?
I don't know.
Oh, well, it's supposed to-
Damn if I know.
There it is. Now it's doing something.
Oh, is it moving?
Yeah. Try again, John.
Hello again.
Well, now, Mark, you talk because we wanted
All
to,
right. Now, so I'm testing this out, see what's happening, and kind of look at me. So
no.
Oh, the owl will turn to the
It's-
voice?
Yeah,
supposed to,
it's
yeah.
supposed to. I wonder if it's too far and maybe it should be centered.
okay. Give it a shot.
Technology. Again.
But there's so many things around the screen here. How do you know which one?
So it's lit up on all sides.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There we go. Let's see. Yeah, now it's working. Whatever you did, Catherine. It did.
Oh, okay. I guess it's just placement.
Oh, no, Mr. Owl.
You should be here when we're first setting it up because it actually boots.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, that's how you know it's ready. It boots.
I'm not trying one of them. Just so I can see.
Yeah, no, over here, Mark. Do the ones closest to the door.
No.
Yeah, and you can do more ones. How's that?
That's great.
That seems good. Well, people better zoom into this meeting or I'm going to be really good.
A lot of setup.
Yeah.
Should have set up a penalty if you didn't.
Right.
I'm surprised no one canceled.
Yeah, we would have to. Yeah, not only we'd have to cancel, we could have had it in person.
I drove by John's house. His car wasn't clean yet.
Uh-huh.
John Gorey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a few minutes. I'm gonna go do something else.
Jim's cleaned it up or his car will buy.
He was when we went back?
Oh, okay. That's okay. So he's coming then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my.
You were in Florida during the last meeting?
Yes. Yeah. Around Thanksgiving, my mother-in-law moved down there, and my sister-in-law, her daughter, lives like right near there, and once they went away for Thanksgiving, they went on some cruise for Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
So this would leave her by herself down there.
Oh.
And so we decided to go down and spend a couple weeks there with her. in Fort Myers. And it was nice, I can tell you. Well, it's nice, the weather's nice, but it's crowded. In Fort Myers is like the best city, and it's just, just craziness. It's driving really fast, and it's just too many people.
Especially when you used to live up here.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I feel that way when I get down to Chicopee or something. I got one.
Oh, that's why I've looked at all these.
Yeah. Once you were speaking, it turned to you, Mr. Owl.
Oh, really?
You're up on the screen.
Glasses on. Looks like I gotta get out to here, be hitting the table, it's almost hitting the table. That picture.
Zoomed in right on you.
And then up the top, there's another one.
Oh, yeah, because it's full view. Everybody.
That's right.
It looks like it has a little bit of delayed response.
I talk over here, go over there.
You can throw your voice, you really screw with it. I don't think anybody else is allowed. We're there, they were gone.
Okay, so Mary's waiting room. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this.
Your audio connection when you were in Florida,
Yeah,
horrendous.
was it?
It was.
I think the problem is more in my computer.
Well,
Then I think I have a real old computer.
Mexico back over to
Yeah.
here to there, whatever, by the time the signal gets.
Yeah, I'm looking to get a new computer soon. And,
Just looking for an excuse for you.
no, I had a computer. I had my work computer. That was like
Worker retired.
well, no, I kept my old computer from work. Good morning, Mary. And I was like 2 or 3 years old. And good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So that was by the time it died, I was like 6 years old. So then I said, well, if I had another older one. And so I went to the old one computer. That would work. Brought that back to life. And then so the one I'm using is probably 10 years old. And I think that's where the issue is.
What do you do with old computers?
Staples will take them.
Yeah, that's what I bring to Staples. I actually pull the hard drives out and then just bring the rest of the computer to Staples.
Install it, or you?
No,
you're saying you
just junk it. Yeah.
junk it. Right? I have I'm on a very old Mac, and I keep my older iMac too. I've had to go to it to refer to it once in a while. I still do the graphics for the company I used to work for.
Okay.
And but it keeps telling me, especially on Chrome or whatever browser, you will not be able. You must upgrade your operating system. I cannot upgrade my operating system. And if I do, all my programs are going to be updated. My InDesign is going to be updated. All this is updated.
That's right. Yeah.
I always thought that Congress really doesn't understand all this. They have people do it for them, but it's kind of like having the roads. And you get a new car and say, "Oh, you can't drive that car on this
road." Is right.
So they do the roads, and guess what? You need a new car for that. Yeah. It's the way I kind of equate it. It's quite an industry, and they know what they're doing.
Oh, it's you gotta keep up with the technological change. You can't. Everybody wants everybody.
So I've been avoiding it for some time.
And I think there's a little of that in cell phones. I think, you get an older cell phone. They don't all of a sudden they don't seem like they work like they used to.
Yeah. I'm a if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're frugal, some people might say.
Yeah.
You can operate that?
Oh, I can if you want.
If you like.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got 3 members here and
And
one more out
no,
there.
true, Dave and Mary.
Oh,
So we're
David
at
Harris.
6.
Okay. And we need how many?
6.
Oh, cool.
So we have a quorum.
Catherine. No.
I know, but there's 3 of us.
Three.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot how to count.
Oh, actually, I
Take my shoes off.
I forgot how to count. We're only at 5, so we don't have a quorum yet. So actually, I forgot how to count.
Right,
There's only 5.
right.
I'll teach you. Listen to me.
Here John's on his ways.
Well, I hope I was not going to church or something.
You never know.
Good morning, Miriam.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Mary.
I'm Mary.
Hi.
So we're just waiting for one more person here. One more committee member. So we have a quorum.
We all get enough.
I think so. There we go. We have Walter and Terry Joe coming on. Goodness. Yeah,
That was something behind us.
good morning, Walter. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I Yes, we can start. It's 11:09. We have a quorum. John may still be on his way here, John Gorey. But we can start anyways. Thank you for all for coming. So I guess what we should start off with is approval of the first agenda item, which is approval of the November meeting, not October. Okay, yeah, it is November. It's approval of November minutes. And if you guys, I emailed those up, I think I did. And so if everyone wants to take a look at that, I'm going to take a minute and make sure everything looks okay to you.
I think the only thing I would add is that I'm also on the safety dam committee.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure who was actually on that. I can change that. Okay, so Mary. Okay, great. Any other comments? Anyone noticed?
I move to approve the minutes as amended by Mary.
I second.
Anyone opposed? So we'll assume everybody's in favor of it. Thank you. All right. Next agenda item, it's kind of a perennial one or a regular one. It's just an update on what FERCog is doing with the stormwater runoff and watershed erosion mitigation work that they're doing. And the answer is nothing. They plan to start getting back on it in the end of January. And so it's still on their agenda. They're still working on it. They're still going to be looking at it, but they're just not doing anything at this moment. Any questions or comments on that? Okay.
Well, Miriam's got her hand up.
Oh, Marion here. Go ahead and just talk, Marion.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't raise my hand. I'm on the town's energy and climate action committee. And we're tasked with making recommendations to the select board on those topics. And one of the areas where we're looking at priorities that were identified in the MVP and the hazard mitigation plans. So we're making some recommendations to the town around energy, but we also want to start prioritizing making some specific recommendations around stormwater management. So it would be really helpful if I could get some feedback from your committee about priorities that you would like to see the town working on that we might be able to support or make recommendations about.
Any comments? I know from my perspective, and I think from this committee's perspective, it's, certainly protecting Lake Wyola is one of our biggest concerns. And, we really need a plan to deal with that watershed, to deal with stormwater runoff around the lake. And that's what we've been trying to get for a while. Now there's a big issue about who owns the roads and stuff. But that, to me, that's immaterial. So if we need a plan, then we can, once we have a plan and know what to do, then we can either look for funding or work on it as small little projects. But that's my priority is to protect the Lake Wyola.
Okay. So really kind of based on the FERCog plan, watershed study first. It's really,
I hope so. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they're going to say, these are the things that need to be done. And at some point, I hope we get to that point.
All right. Well, we'll probably want to communicate more as we get a little farther in this process.
Okay, fair enough.
There's somebody waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have a guest just came in, Gillian. Or was muted. Okay, let's see here. I think we can move on to the next agenda item, and that's the boating safety around the lake. We had the sort of a draft of the sign with the text of the sign that we were proposing to put up. I was kind of hoping to get it up, sooner, but there was no rush. I can't get down the road now, so it's a springtime project at this point. Any comments, any last minute changes or any thoughts? I know if this is a sign, we still have to go to Concom and get there and get their sign off on it. But I want to make sure that everyone was happy with that, the text and the wording.
Look good.
Yeah, look good to me.
Okay, any other comments? So this is just to remind everybody, this is basically what our intention is to have a simple sign that's attached to the kiosk that has the very basic boating safety requirements, and based upon issues we saw this year, people driving the wrong way around the lake and people going a little too fast at times. And so these are just, we have the rules posted at the kiosk, but nobody reads it. And this is just, just the basics. And I think even just the boats traveling in counterclockwise, clockwise motion is really, a key safety issue. And it's really people who are unfamiliar with the rules of the lake. Are we good?
Yep.
So we already approved funding to get those signs made, and again, Katherine's going to take care of that sometime. No rush.
Right.
Well, we should after we get Concom.
After Concom.
Yeah. Yep. And so I'll get that on. I'll send a note up to Concom to get on their agenda at some point in time. All right, we all good?
Yep.
All good.
Okay. Another agenda item that we've been talking about was the beaver management activities. And so are there any updates that this committee needs to know about? I know at the last meeting.
Yeah, yes, there are. Mike Callahan said he wouldn't come after all to consult. He said it was pointless. He was too busy. He already made his recommendation that, or his professional opinion that none of the kinds of water flow control devices that he has or knows about would work there. And so he declined to come. So we're not going to spend the whatever it was.
Okay. Any other comments? Any safety issues were going on? I haven't actually been down there to see what's going on, but everyone okay? Okay. Good. Next one is next agenda item is safety access to the dam. I don't know if that committee has met yet. No.
Not till January.
So your first meeting will be in January?
January 4th.
So January is going to be a Zoom meeting, I assume, or is it going to be here? Or
I remember that.
I believe Eric said that it would be available. I don't know if he said it was going to be hybrid or not. I think it was going to be just Zoom, though, if I remember.
Okay. Any so that's it. That's any other comments or questions on that item? Okay. This is good. We're moving quickly here. Next item is update on the dam repairs. Eric sent out an email. I guess Becky, David knows the details more than I do. Maybe actually, Walter, you're probably more familiar with this than I am. Why don't you?
Yeah. And actually, I had previously talked to Morris. I had probably about a half hour to 45-minute conversation with him that we laid out all the cards on the table. And, I was very, very frank with him about what our concerns were and how things have been going. I do have a response to that. Then Eric had brought that to Becky that I was going to be talking with him, and we wanted to meet with the select board on the 6th, December 6th, to discuss this with them about possibly looking at a new engineer or firm for doing the inspections on the dam. So then Becky went and she made the phone call to Morris after I had already talked to him. And basically he told her the very same thing. So she called me back and said, "Oh, this is what he said." I said, "Yeah, I understand that," because I had already had the conversation with him. She said, "So seeing we've already had that conversation, there's no need to put it on the select board agenda. So you can just, we'll just let it go for now." Like, okay. So here is the official follow-up with that is after our discussion. One thing, Morris did go back and check to see when he actually did the inspection, the last inspection, and it had been postponed due to COVID. So it actually happened in not November 2020, but actually September 2021. So our next inspection isn't due until September 2023. So we're not behind on the inspections. He has been in contact with Office of Dam Safety, let them know that yes, in fact, he had done the physical inspection. He just didn't have the written report done. He has been absolutely swamped with other customers that had actually more pressing issues. He has once again guaranteed, I think it's because he's pretty much finishing a lot of things up, that he will have the inspection to Office of Dam Safety, the written inspection report, by the end of January, this coming January, which is when it is due at the latest. So he will be doing that. Then he did confirm my suspicion that he says, yes, he will be curtailing his engineering efforts, as he put it, at the end of June 2023. So he is going to be closing his business. He's going to be fully retiring and won't be doing the inspections anymore. But he says this still leaves an opportunity for what he would like to do, as he called it, a farewell inspection. He'd like to do one more for the town, and promises that by that time, he won't have any other customers, so he'll be able to do it pretty quickly. We talked about once he leaves and shuts down his business, who we should, if he had any suggestions, who we should be getting. He did send a list of engineering firms that he feels more confident with in their ability to, properly do a dam safety inspection. And feels confident in their details of how they would look at things. So he did send a list of that. He has a few more. There's a couple that he purposely did not put on there for a few reasons that, because he's been working with them. Some people have recently left that were a key part of their dam safety inspection programs. Some have been having some problems. So he kind of left those off. There was one in particular called Stantec, because they've had a few problems in that area. But on the other hand, they've been very good at their wetland specialists, and he said he's found them very reasonable and fair, and cost, and do a good job. One thing he did suggest to the town is that when the town decides to hire another inspection engineer, you may want to ask for bids, but he would regularly strongly suggest the town reserve the right to review credentials of the inspecting boots on the ground engineer, to make sure to make selection as much about qualifications and experience as well as cost. Says a lot of the larger firms send their more junior engineers to the site to take pictures and to document stuff. And then the senior experienced staff will make judgments as filtered by the junior staff back at the office. So they'll send their lowest quality guy out there, do some inspections, and then the people that really know what they're doing kind of put together their report back in the office. So he sent a list of those engineers that he felt were qualified, that would do a good job for us. And he also sent a whole bunch of new dam safety sheets, as he called them. It's an 84-page document. So if we want a copy of it, I think we lost town hall.
We did.
I just looked up and said, wait a minute, where'd they all go?
Yeah, because it said Miriam was now the host, and we know she doesn't want to do that. So,
so maybe I should
just kick back on, Walter. Is that what happens once the generator thing happens?
Yeah, what they've got to do is they got to log back in. They got to set the camera back up. They got to log back into Zoom. First, they have to realize that that they got kicked out. Then they shut it down. Then they log back in, and they got to get everything kicked back up. So it may take them about 5 minutes. Or
so we should take a quick time out here until they come back.
I think so. How quickly did they go out? Did they get any of what I was saying, or did
you were the last about 30 seconds there? I think.
Okay.
Hey, Walter,
right.
This is Miriam.
Yep.
Can I ask a question? Could I get a copy of that list of engineers and the dam safety sheets?
Yep, I can do that. It's all public.
And, I was looking, I know the last meeting I went to, somebody was going to dig up one of the older dam inspection reports.
Oh, that would have probably been me. I will have to go up, probably go up to the town, the fire station and get that.
Yeah, I think
see if they have it electronically, and I haven't been up there to do that.
Yeah, I think like the last one might have been from 2019. If you could get one without it being a huge hassle, I mean, if I could reach out to Lenny, if you think that would be.
Oh, he would not know where it is.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but no, especially if you're looking for it electronically. I mean, if you want to look at the paper copy, that should be upstairs and with all the other emergency management stuff. If you're looking for it electronically where I could send it to you, that will be on the computer, and I'll have to get that off of the form.
All right. That will at least
let me write that down for me to do that. Otherwise I will forget. Right.
Because I'm just tracking on it because, we're again thinking about ECAC and grant writing and wondering about, some people have come to the commission, to the ECAC board, wondering if we wanted to work on a maybe an MVP grant application for the dam.
Okay.
So it's good news that they're not out late on the reports, because that would probably be a deal breaker. But
right. Well, we're not the only ones that are late in the state. Things have got some messed up with COVID, and their Office of Dam Safety is and has been for a number of years so severely understaffed that they're having a hard time keeping up with everything. At one point, they had 2 people working in the office, and that's for receiving the reports of all the dams in Massachusetts and trying to keep up with all of that. So, looks like they're coming back on.
Beautiful.
I appear to be a host now. That's funny.
And start video.
Yeah, so we eventually, Office of Dam Safety is being very understanding about this stuff. So, and also it's there. If for whatever reason I could not find it, we can always request it from Office of Dam Safety. That's how I got a copy of the last inspection report on the Ames Pond dam, as I requested it directly from Office of Dam Safety. So.
Well, I could do that. That might.
It's all right. I'm sure I can get it. I just got to go up there. The problem is I'm back working 4 days a week, so it's only 1 day a week that I can get up to the fire station while somebody's there. So, and if I have some other things going on, I'll be honest. I got so many things going on. I forget a lot of things. That's why I have to write it down, and I have to remember where I wrote it down. But I will try to do that for you as soon as possible, so I do not forget. It looks like Town Hall is back.
Yes, we're back.
Where did you lose me when I was doing my report there?
First of all, I want to apologize about being cut off again. I was going to try to remember to tell everybody ahead of time, but then I forgot.
You were talking about the different other engineering firms.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So basically, he was saying that some of the other the engineering companies, what happens, at least the larger ones, they'll send their junior engineer to do the actual inspection, who doesn't have a lot of experience. And they'll go out and take pictures and make some notes, and then they bring that back, and the senior experienced staff will make the judgments on those, what they give, and write up the report. So it's not like having the true experienced engineer going out and do the inspection. So it was just, warning to do that. So when we go to look for an engineer, also, instead of just going by price, go by what their qualifications are too. And then he did send a new set of dam safety sheets prepared by the Association of State Dam Safety Officials. And it's about an 84-page document. So I can send that out. I can send it out to everybody, I guess, or send it to you, Mark, and you can send it out to everyone, just so you can see all the different things that are there. And, you know, it's the town's, let's see, I'll read it specifically. It says, I appreciate the town's focus on maintaining the appearance of the dam and not engaging with fences and railings. However, I would encourage the signage and fencing receive a periodic review with the town's legal counsel and or insurance carrier, as standards of care do get altered from time to time. So, you know, they're over the state, they're looking at different things like this. We're not the only ones facing it. So, and I think his suggestion of also talking to our insurance carrier, not just our town council, might be a good idea to see what they may suggest, because ultimately they're the ones that are going to be paying or not paying if something happens. So I can send this out to everyone.
Walter, didn't Becky, I remember being at a select board meeting where Becky said that she had checked with the insurance carrier.
Okay, I didn't know that. Maybe she did.
Yeah.
It was just a suggestion again. As I'm not attending a lot of those meetings anymore, not being involved in much of town government, things happen that I don't know about. But this is what a conversation was that I had with Morris. So
for folks who weren't there, my recollection, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody was there, that if you put up signage, it increases your responsibility then if somebody does something terrible and gets hurt. If you don't have signage and they get hurt, there's less exposure for the town, but the select board made a decision that didn't feel comfortable. So Becky had made a recommendation, perhaps there shouldn't be any signage. And the select board said that they weren't comfortable with that because they felt like they needed to do whatever they could do to keep the safety and in mind on the dam. And
well, the thing is, you can say, oh, we didn't put up signs because we didn't really know that there was a problem, but right. It's obvious that it's been discussed at many meetings. Yes. We even have a committee put together now that's meeting in January to discuss this. So it's pretty hard to say that we didn't know about it.
And
it was brought up about 5 or 10 years ago too.
Well, did we actually receive actual legal advice from legal counsel?
Well, Miriam is saying that Becky talked to them, but I don't know if that was legal. Legal counsel. Well, we have talked to our legal counsel before, and again, at that point, they were like, "Well, it's better if you just don't do anything."
I would question that just to have a difference of opinion.
Right. That's why I'm saying this is put out by the Association of the State Safety Officials, State Dam Safety Officials. So, you know, it might heed us to take a look at this 84-page document and see what they say about it too.
So that's interesting information, since we have a safety dam committee that's going to meet in January.
Yep. And
we have scuttlebutt in town that, hey, just don't put any signs up because, you know, well, being stupid is great approach. I mean, if that's how people feel, I mean, the committee that's going to discuss this issue should be aware of that. And they are now, because I think 7 members are here.
The select board weighed in and said that was not going to be the direction that the town was going to go in, that they were going to look for ways to put up signage and maybe set some regulations about use. So
Eric is also the chair of that committee from the select board, so I think he would know some of this information.
Okay.
But I will say, in closing, I will say that it was a very good conversation with Morris. Like I said, we were very frank and open, and he was not upset in the least. He was very understanding about what our concerns were and our feelings and fears of things. And, you know, he did actually confirm some of them by saying, yep, you're right. Yeah, at the end of June, I am closing up. I'm closing up shop and I'm retiring. So, yep, it's good that we're looking at this right now. I do not know at what point the select board is going to be talking about it, because I was basically told, I've made the phone call. we're aware of it. We don't need to talk about it at the select board meeting. So.
All right, so it looks like, if I get the dates right, Morris is still finishing the report, and he'll have, supposedly, he'll send it to, I assume, Becky.
He'll send it to Office of Dam Safety. That's the most important thing. Office of Dam Safety by the end of January, and then be sending us a copy also, or several copies. Yep.
Good, because it's important for us, for someone to look at that and look at the recommendations, and well, especially the maintenance recommendations.
Right.
And then he's retiring in June.
Yep.
But he's still offering to do the inspection.
Yeah, he'd do it early, I guess. So
like in June.
Yeah, he said next. Let's see. He said next inspection due on or before September 30th. He's closing down June. So yes, he said it still leaves an opportunity for a farewell inspection. So it sounds like he'd do the inspection and file the report finish up the report by the end of June before he closes his doors. Yep.
Okay. So who historically would drive that? Remind him about
it. Historically, it was me as the emergency management director. As a member of this committee, I suppose I could still do that, or we could leave it up to Becky. Or actually, as I guess Kristen has now been appointed the new emergency management director. So I've been kind of helping her along a little bit with things, as it's a totally new realm for her too. But I can at least let her know. I'm not sure if she's keeping that on permanently or if it's just a temporary thing. I really don't know what the plans are for the select board about that, but they appointed Kristen as the emergency management director right now. So I can let her know about it. And I can also be there to kind of help him along, remind him of that. He did start by asking if we wanted to meet, because we had talked about meeting with him to look at the dam, look at the repairs, and talk about materials and all that. And he suggested, well, I'll have some time in January. I said, well, Morris, to be honest with you, that's a pretty tough time to sit there and look at the dam, especially if it's under 2 feet of snow. It really would be a waste of your time coming down here. If we're going to do that, we should probably wait till, springtime when we can actually see the dam. So he wholeheartedly agreed. So.
All right. So thank you for all your effort there. I think it's just about we have to remember to kind of keep Goosey Morris as to make sure we get a copy of the report in January, at the end of January, and then figure out what the town wants to do for the final, the farewell inspection, and make sure everyone's on board and get that done.
And that inspection would be good for 2 years, Walter. So if he did the inspection in June of 2023, that's going to be 2000 through 2025.
Right. Yep. So I'd be doing it 3 months early, 4 months early.
Sorry about that.
It's not like it's, doing it at, 9 or 10 months early and getting us way off schedule. It's only 3 months early from when it's next one's due. So that wouldn't be bad. That would be actually good. So
that would make a lot of sense.
And
town went along with that, and then they went through an RFP process to do it on what he suggests, and not based upon price but qualifications, because I see that all the time. They send out the newest engineer, takes pictures, goes out there. I've reviewed dam inspections where they say the dam is basically like, has movement, and if you look at it, it could be road alignment. It's crazy. Some of the reports that are put together by young engineers, and then they go out of the office and you pay a premium for them and stuff, versus someone like Morris, where it's an individual in a firm that's responsible for his own work, not getting lost in big consulting firms. And I mean, I've worked with Stantec before. I don't think I'd be hiring them.
That's why he said he left them off the list right now because of some recent activities.
Stantec's like a huge North American consulting company with thousands of engineers, and you're lucky if you can you know, the people that are there that you deal with at the local level move on to other companies. Or they buy up other companies and you deal with people. But anyways, not to get off track, but there's a lot of good small consulting firms that have very competent people that can do that. And that's, to me, like what the town should be seeking out in the future.
He gave a list of 7 different companies in the area that he felt very confident with.
So that's good. That'll be a good list. And hopefully if he does the last report here in June, then it'll give the town a couple of years to absorb, you know, and put together the RFP the right way.
Yeah, and I think moving the inspection time to, you know, June, July is a lot better than doing it in November. It's a lot better weather to really sit there. You're not going to be rushed if it's, you know, below zero trying to do an inspection.
For the repairs that were necessary that were in his last report and stuff, is what's that town taking for action for approving monies to do that?
I do not know if they've actually approved any monies for it. Some of the stuff we could do kind of ourselves, and that's what we were going to do. He was supposed to come down here in, I don't know, September or earlier than that, and kind of show us what he really meant and what off-the-shelf products that we could use, that he would suggest to use for doing that stuff. The things that definitely we can't do is the relining of the downstream sluiceway, you know, below the gate. And like you said, it's a concern, but because most of the water that's going around that is staying within the old stone sluiceway, you know, we don't see sand and all that pouring out all the time. It's always clean water. There's no evidence of any sediment coming through. He's not as concerned, but it should have been done right the first time, and it really wasn't. So it would alleviate a lot of concerns if that was done. That's got to be a firm that does that. And again, moving the seepage weir, we were looking at trying to have that done when they did the culvert work, because there would be a crane there. That way we wouldn't have to put any equipment down in there, and it would be a lot easier to get approval through the Conservation Commission and all that for doing that. But you know, that's been put off a couple times, and it couldn't be done at the same determination, you know, with the Conservation Commission, because the funds were coming from different places, and we couldn't put that in with all the stuff with the engineering for the dam. So that kind of got dropped. And, you know, the other way to do it is just do it by hand. It'd be a lot of work, but we could do it by hand. You know, dig up where it is, you know, dig up just where it's going to go and put it back in. It still requires going through the Conservation Commission and all that, but it'd be a lot easier to, you know, get it approved by doing it by hand and getting equipment down in that area. And that's why we were going to use the crane, because they could just reach out and pick it up and drop it in the new spot. But all that kind of went awry when we couldn't combine the two together at the time. So I was told. So it just kind of fell by the wayside, that whole part of the project.
So
I don't know if the town ever went through to start looking for somebody or not. I think it just got put on the shelf, and that was the end of it.
So should LWAC, and this is to Mark, should LWAC be sending a letter, and then the dam safety committee that's going to be meeting in January, should they be working with town hall to appropriate money for FY24 budget for materials that may be necessary for the dam repair, as well as the next dam safety inspection report, so that it's included in the upcoming budget process?
I think that's a good idea, Terry. I'm hoping that in the January report that we're going to get, Morris will define what needs to be done. And from that, we can then, kind of, the town can start getting estimates for the stuff we're going to do ourselves for the material, but then also for the stuff that we can't do, which is the water leaking around the sluice gate. So I think, I'm hoping that report has a list of what needs to be done. And from now we can work on the budget.
And then there was also, I know it's been a while since I come into the meeting, but in the summertime, we had spoke about the trash rack and modifications to that. So if there was anything, costs associated with that, now that Walter's, retired, and, it seemed like there was going to be some materials and some costs associated with that. But
there probably will be.
Just so things don't fall by the wayside as the budget process goes into play. I would think that if the select board was forming the new dam safety committee, that would be something that they could advocate for, is trying to keep all of this in line so that there's money to actually do it.
That sort of like leads into the question that I was raising earlier about grants, because MVP, the Municipal Vulnerability Plan grants, can be used, I believe, for dam repairs.
That the dam was put in originally on the MVP as a concern, which I haven't looked at the latest report. Again, I don't have access to it. But if that, that should still be there, because that's an ongoing concern. And so as long as it's in that and been identified, it should be available for the grants.
Because that, that takes a little work and time. And I think that the next grant cycle might be the deadlines might be this winter. But with an eye toward applying for the following winter, maybe that would be something worth looking at.
I would think the town, they should appropriate the money like most towns do. And then if the grant is appropriated in the budget, and then if the grant comes through, then they don't have to spend it out of the budget next year. So because the grant isn't going to come due before the fiscal year budget gets approved. So if you appropriate the money in the budget and then the grant is written and it's successful, then next year when the grant would be approved in it'd be probably pretty close to FY25 almost. You wouldn't have to spend the money at the end of the fiscal year to do it. But I mean, this is something that's got put off by the Board of Selectmen. It's good that they formed the dam safety committee, but the dam's a resource to everybody and the lake's a resource to everybody, but it seems they don't ever want to put money into that.
So I think if this report from Morris comes together in January, which I'm sure it's going to, then they'll define what the requirements that need to be done, and we can start going from there. And I think all these are great ideas to do the appropriations, to do the MVP grant or application, and I think hopefully everything's coming together. And it all hinges on Morris.
Is there enough information in Morris's inspection reports to be actionable for an MVP grant, an action grant? I mean, is there enough detail to support a grant application?
I would definitely say so, yes.
Yeah, and these repairs that we're talking about, those were proposed in probably correct me if I'm wrong, Walter, but they probably go back to dam inspection reports. Related to
some of it, yes. Some of was taken care of, but some definitely on the last inspection report that we have a copy of. I do believe it was there. Everything there was identified, because that's what we were starting to do the plans. I mean, he had even gone and talked to different engineering companies, tried to find one for us that would be actually willing to do the work, because either they're too small to do it or they were too big and didn't want to be bothered. We definitely didn't want to use this company that did it originally because they didn't do it properly the first time. He had one that looked at it and kind of gave us a rough idea of the work being done. Again, 3, 4, 5 years ago, it was probably in the range of, $8,000 to $10,000 to do that sluiceway stuff. But yeah, I don't know if they're even in business now or not, or if they'd be willing to do it. So we'd have to start the whole process over again.
Is there also, I'm just trying to understand what I know, because you weren't at the meeting that I was at, the LWAC meeting, and maybe it was June or July where we were talking about this. But there was some talking about grout, perhaps the dam needing to be regrouted. Was that, or is that also part of what are the recommended repairs?
Yeah, the grouting is, well, it's used in a couple of different terms, but there was a bit of work that needed to be done on the surface of the dam where some of the grouting or cement work was chipping away and falling apart. There were some places that areas were cracked and separating that needed more like almost like a caulking, an epoxy caulking to fill gaps that would keep water from going where it's not supposed to go. And most likely when they're talking about the grouting, that was the grouting of the sluiceway. What was originally supposed to be done, they sleeved the old square stone sluiceway with a round, heavy-duty plastic pipe that's probably about 1.5 inches thick. And to keep the water going through that, what they were supposed to do is fill the entire space between the old stone and the new pipe, the grout. And what ended up being is a lot of places it didn't go in, and they filled voids with actually styrofoam and then grouted the ends to make it look like it was all done. But once that grouting started breaking away, Howie was, consistently finding big chunks of grout, big chunks of foam coming out of the dam and around it and from inside. I once had crawled all the way up inside the tube and took a video of all the way around the inside of the pipe, showing that basically there was nothing left there. So so that was the grouting that was talked about most likely.
Okay.
Okay, I think, is there anything else? Any other comments on the dam? I think we got some good, we have a good sort of, minds of action plan here, and it's gonna all hinges on Morris. Does it make sense to put the list of the engineers that Morris is recommending in the minutes of the meeting? Just so we have a.
Sure, I can send you a copy of the email and the suggested firms with dam experience, and also a copy of that dam safety sheets by the Association of State Dam Safety Officials. I'll send all that to you.
Good, thank you very much. I'll put it in minutes. All right. Anything else on the dam? All right, so we're up to item 7 here is items that cannot be reasonably anticipated prior to the meeting. Anything else? Any other new subjects?
Well, there's the generator thing.
I don't know what's new about the generator thing. The last proposal.
I have not had the opportunity to talk to Becky about that again. I believe when she mentioned it to them about resetting the timer, I think he misunderstood it and said, oh yeah, we haven't reset it for daylight savings time, and reset it so it's still going off at the same time now. So I just have not, the first couple of times I stopped in there, I think she was on vacation for a week or so, and I haven't had the opportunity to go up there again and talk to her. If somebody else feels they want to do that, that's great. If not, I'll make an effort to try to get up there this coming week and talk to her.
I see her often. I'll try to mention it.
All right. The other thing is, if we just take the manual and read how to do it, and we can do it ourselves if that's at all possible. Yeah, we'll get into some other stuff with this guy that's been doing the work, but he's done a few things that I'm not so thrilled about. But yeah, if you want to talk to her first, if not, I can do it too.
All right, how about if you both put it on your list?
Put a little pressure there.
But at least we understand what's happening and we can work around it. But, all right.
Yeah, but it makes no sense. I mean, there's no reason not to put it at a time that we're not going to be there, because not too many other people are meeting there on Saturday mornings and using the system. So, if we push it till later in the afternoon, I mean, the thing about having that is usually you have it done once people are around so they can notice if it doesn't start or not. But except for you guys being there, there's usually nobody there at that time in the morning, so it's not really being monitored anyway. So putting it at any other time, makes sense to me.
Maybe then we should coordinate it with Kristen, because it's usually the police who are here on Saturday, and she could tell us what's a good time or not.
Okay, makes sense.
Rather than going later, why not go early, like 8 o'clock instead of 9?
Yeah, why not have it before the meeting starts? And then we'd be coming in at least once a month, and we would notice if it didn't come back on, I guess.
Okay. So you guys will touch base with Becky and see if we can get something done. Or at least maybe get a copy of it. Does anyone know where the manual would be?
Yeah, it's in the back room over by the transfer case. All the manuals are right there.
Okay.
I have the combination for that.
Okay. All right, so anything else? January's meeting, is it worthwhile to meet in January? Or should we put it off till February? Any thoughts? I'm fine with the January meeting. A lot of these things are going to kind of happen towards the end of January. The dam committee, the Morris report. What does everybody think?
I think maybe a meeting was a good idea.
Okay.
And if it doesn't seem useful, we can just cancel it.
Or it can be short.
Even better.
All right, so our next meeting would be, I don't know the calendar, but the 3rd.
There's a calendar on here.
So it'll be January
21st, yeah.
Okay.
The door's unlocked.
All right. If there's nothing else, then we can close the meeting.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you very much.
Have happy holiday.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.